Okay, this particular photograph that we take, we call the Rose Petal, and we're going to actually have our subject lay down on the floor upside down, and then we're going to put rose petals around her, and then we're going to go overhead and take the photograph. This is probably one of the most beautiful photographs that we take here, and it kind of evolved from us taking baby photographs. Even my own daughter, we kind of put on this chiffon material, and you sprinkle the rose petals on there. It's always been a great photograph with the kids, and then I said to myself one day, wow, why don't I do the high school seniors with this? Now, we don't use pillows because when you put the rose petals down and they lay on top of the pillow, all the petals will go into a pile. You can't just have their head back when they're laying upside down on the ground too far, so what we'll do is we'll take their hand and we'll put their arm up behind them, and the reason for that is to lift their head up off the floor. Now, your hand has to be in the position on your head so that your head is best lifted off the ground. Bingo, you got it. Now lay down on it. Then you got to watch it, because once their arm's up like this, you don't want to show their armpit, and you don't want them to have a sleeve on their arm because it'll get all twisted there. So we tell them to don't have a sleeve so that it looks better when their arm's up behind their head. Now she's got a couple problems on her top, and when that happens and you're a guy photographer, you don't want to touch anything, so you're either going to tell their parent to come up and fix it or tell her to fix it herself. So in this case, we're going to have her mom come up. I always have the mom in the room so that there's someone always to fix little things like that. Cool. Now you want to make sure the top is centered with themselves and all that little stuff. Now what I'm going to do is go over there and I'm going to take her hair and I'm just going to give it a swoop. So kind of watch how I do this. So pick your head up a little bit. I'm going to grab her hair over here on the side and I'm going to give it a swoop, and I'm going to take her hand, give me your hand, and I'm going to make sure that we found the right spot. Okay, now lay down in that hand. Then once she lays down, see my hand over here? Giving it the swoop. Now see this arm here? The arm's kind of a mess. So if the arm is like this, you want to bring it out. Now see how I fixed this whole arm? Just by moving it over. That's where it was before, and this is how I fixed it. See this little hair? We're going to tuck that under. Your head's in the perfect position. Actually, a little more turn to me. Okay, now hold that. See this neck muscle? You got to make sure that that's relaxed over there. Now we're just going to take that little cross and just make sure it's in the right spot. We've got that. Her hair's got a nice swoop to it. Might give her a little lift up in here, but see how perfect this is flowing? Now we're going to take the rose petals and sprinkle them all around, so don't move, okay? These are just synthetic rose petals. They're pink. We're just going to sprinkle them around here. And then when I come over here, I'm going to throw them against her hair so that it goes in there, and it looks like she's laying on top of them. But I don't really need her to lay on top of them because it would just be a mess and get caught in her hair. Now, when you go to these trade shows and conventions, they have these rose petal carpets, but the petals are just like a cookie cutter on the pattern on the rug that you roll out and have them lay on. So I would rather just take the rose petals and kind of sprinkle them around there and put them around them, make it look a little bit more, not as perfect, a little bit more natural. And you can probably tell from the way I'm doing this, I've probably done it a million times. The hard part of the whole thing is getting good lighting. And I was even watching an MTV movie the other day, or music video, and you know, they got the camera up and they're shooting down almost the same kind of angle, and it's all flat lit, because the big thing now is these ring lights and all that stuff is just ruining their face. So what you want is a three-dimensional lighting, so they still have a pretty nose with the shadows. And so the way you do that is when you're shooting over like this, you still got to get that light on a 45-degree angle. So what I'm going to do is come in with this softbox, and we're going to bring it right into here. And it's going to come in on a 45-degree angle to her face. Once you've got that light down on the floor, then you can come in with that nice dimensional lighting there. And if you want to feather the light up off the floor a little bit, get a block and put it underneath the light and get it up off the floor so it just kind of comes in and skims off the floor a little bit. And then over here, we still have a little bit of a light up above her. Not much power coming out of this light. And then we have some fill coming in from up there that will come across. So now I'm just going to go right over here and here, capture this angle right here. So now as you're taking the subject's picture, you could actually come up higher, or you could go down lower. You're watching the triangle patterns, you know, the angle, the nice flow of the hair, the beautiful light, the nice rose petals, all that comes in together to take in this photograph.